There are many things or events that we consider as a pastime, for example, such as baseball, or which is basically known as America's pastime. We have football, the NFL, basically, or anything outdoor related, such as soccer and archery and whatnot. We can say that a pastime is a hobby one is passionate about. So, in a sense, we can say that. In a sense, we can consider as a pastime or hobby is outs that we consider hobbies outside can actually be done indoors. There are, like I said, there are also hobbies that can be done indoors, such as knitting, reading, um, fantasy sports if you're really into sports, um, and etc. But we're not here to discuss about these type of hobbies or pastimes. We're gonna Today I'm gonna be discussing video games, which is considered a pastime or hobby as well. Yes, the video games the people assume that is bad for the children is actually a good thing. um, Overall, any of these pastimes, whether if it's video games or just other athletic sports, knitting, reading stuff, it actually helps relieve stress. Any like in my case, video games help stress relief. As a person who plays video games or who loves to play video games, I just have a passion to play it and want to keep up in the world of gaming. So like news and whatnot, what's going to be released, um, etc. I even stream and play video games because if it has a sense of fulfillment where I'm doing something that I love, being able to show other people who loves to play video games just want to watch, just play, and I have the ability to show it whenever I can. But it's a time to time thing because, again, it's a sense of fulfillment. Um, whether if it's to play games, unlock achievements, or just going through the story, which the majority some majority of video games have good stories, so that's why people love to play them, and it's also a stress reliever. Um, to competitive gaming, where it could actually be, it could be a good thing because you're releasing your stress and you're um, working with others to to achieve victory by doing objectives and so on. Overall, it's just fun. This is my passion, and I just want to just share that. I just really want to share that with you guys. Um, I am here to tell you that the passion of gaming is not only fun in games, no pun intended, but to say that it can help relieve stress, like I mentioned before. The thing that parents and educators consider as a bad thing for children can actually be beneficial for them. Um, not only children's, not only children, but also adults. First of all, let's go and define the term stress. As mentioned from medlineplus.gov, the definition of stress is a feeling of emotional or physical tension. It can come from any event or thought that makes you feel frustrated, angry, or nervous. Now, the question is, what's the causes of it? Well, as for the causes of stress, there are many factors, but the top ones I think is the most common ones that I found from WebMD are divorce, loss of a job, emotional problems, which are depression, anxiety, anger, grief, guilt, and low self-esteem, which are which are problems that people face every day. And but anyhow, to the topic at hand, we have video games, and as I said, it's a stress reliever. It's actually kind of ironic, and I'll tell you why in a few. The reason of being is because playing video games for a few hours can actually help relieve the stress, whether if it's just being worn out from school or work or just flat out having a bad day. Like it happens, you know. The reason why video games allows one to escape from reality, as mentioned from Comso.net, by escaping the reality of their daily activities for a few hours. So by doing that, you're allowed to just have fun, unwinding, just unwinding by having fun. Getting rid of the stress. Um, Another thing is the reason. All right, so my reason of the downsides of video games is like I said, it can actually be. The ironic thing is, video games is a stress causer. Yes, the reason why is it a stress causer? Well, look at it. As I mentioned, stress is caused by emotional problems, which is depression, anxiety, anger, grief, guilt, and low self-esteem. How can you be depressed from it? You get yeah, as in a gaming terms, as if you get steamrolled. So basically, you get beat down. You get beat so bad that you couldn't do nothing about it, and then you're gonna end up feeling depressed. Anxiety, where you're playing a competitive shooter, which has eliminations, and you're the final guy or the final person. You're gonna have that anxiety to want to do it. Like you want to go for the win, or you have to be patient. You go for the win and risk it all and lose. That can fall into being guilt as well, because it's like you're feeling guilty because you let the team down. You wanted to be prideful and go all in, hopefully to get the W or get the win. And anger and low self esteem is can also be like basically the stress and how video games are. You're feeling the downside to it. You can be angry, and you get angry at the most littlest thing, like oh I couldn't put this piece together in Tetris, or you just throw your controller at the TV. I don't know. It could happen. Anything can happen. Was this low self esteem? Like I said about the whole like one single person going in for the win. You you have it to where you lose, and then next you know you're just gonna be bullied over the mic. I'm saying like like you're having your teammates saying, "Oh my God, you're a horrible player. I don't know why'd you try doing that. You're bad." That's gonna cause somebody to have low self esteem. So that could be like pretty much the downside to video games, which is a stressor versus a stress reliever. But anyhow, there's a study done by researchers in the UK on video games, and their subjects were video game enthusiasts between the ages of 18 and 30. um, we have 55% of them saying that games help them unwind and relieve stress. 47% stated that video games help them see their lives in a positive light. 37% said gaming improved their confidence. 20% said that gaming helped them solve mental health issues or concerns, which is also that falls into the whole emotional problems as well. So we see from these various reasons that video games can help relieve stress and emotional issues. There are like I mentioned before, there are speculations to when video games are bad, but it was mostly the emotional and mental portion. So this is basically how long you play video games. So like if you play like an all nighter, more than like 2 hours, that's bad for health reasons. And then you also got it to where what type of games you're playing, like like violent shooters such as Call of Duty or Gears of War or etc. GTA, best example. um, is gonna make kids especially like want to react it out or reenact it. Not only that, video games can help people who have social, like, above that, above the whole violence and whatnot. In actuality, video games can help people who have social anxiety or just socialized problems, um, by talking over the microphone if you're in a party, or you tech, or if you're on PC, you're playing and and you can just type on a chat bar. Um, Another thing that I forgot to mention is that the whole assumption of video games only being a male dominant thing, that, or a pastime that people do. In actuality, um, video games are for anybody um, who is just stressed out. You have male, females that play video games. You know, it's not only a male dominant thing. I mean, if you go to like the streams or whatnot, you got female gamers for days, and you got male gamers. So we have it to made up to like 55% being male and 45% being female. Makes up the total 100%. Um, Despite that, meaning that the whole assumption of playing video games, like I said, was male dominant. This can also be an outlet for women as well. As for age, we know that um, video games is for any age. So, like 32% of the demographic, which is mentioned by Cumso.net, is which is made up of kids under 18. Okay, but the larger majority, when it comes to the age, is a surprise that are people from the ages of 36 to 60, which is their percent being 36%. In other words, age doesn't matter when it comes to playing video games. The other thing that matters is that the age ranges anybody can become stressed, whether if it's school, work, or just life in general. Like I said, um, being able to be immersed in a fantasy world or playing a puzzle, or downright shooting a monster or a robot, video games can help relieve the stress in your life. Overall, video games are considered today's pastime, and people of all ages are playing it. Video games is just fun and helpful for those who are stressed or avid gamers. On that note, congratulations, you have yeah finished the game. Thank you for playing.